Hey guys, Day One Loser here, and I'm gonna start holding my mic from now on because I obviously don't know what to do with my hands, so better get used to it. In today's society, you look around you and everyone's being a degenerate. Everyone's going to clubs, parties, smoking weed, having gangbang orgies with people they barely know, jerking it to straight Fuda. We are goyim, there's no other way to put it. We're cattle. You look at the people we look up to, these Twitch streamers whose whole job is to make a clown out of themselves and to farm you for attention. That's literally their whole job, is to farm your attention. And for some of these people, it's blatantly obvious why they got famous. They can't write a more obvious joke. John D. Rockefeller would be laughing in his grave right now. It's the total inversion of morality. They flipped the pyramid on its head. Sure, you can work a 9 to 5 until you're like 60, or you can make a dumb joke about sucking cock and become a millionaire in an instant. Like, are these the people we're supposed to look up to? By all modern metrics, they are. They've got fame, money, status. But through all that, there's something twisted about this reverse morality. They're not morally better than you or I. In fact, they're some of the most morally depraved people in society, yet they make your whole year's worth of salary in a day. Is life fair, or is life just some cruel fucking joke? These things make you question the purpose of life, and this is where Nietzsche would say you are staring into the void. The void being nihilism. That nothing matters, everything is random, and life really is a joke. We're not born with meaning, but to just live and to die. So why not make your stay as pleasurable as it can be? Why not indulge in hedonism? Why not take advantage of people? It's all the same. I mean, if life really is a joke and nothing matters, there's no morals. I can do whatever I want. I am God. This is the subconscious of nihilism. Even if they don't say it or think it, it's the subconscious, meaning it subtly influences their decision. Who've given up on their soul, their truth, their hopes, and their dreams, and were swallowed by the void of nihilism. There's no accountability with these people. With nothing to aim at, they aim at themselves. They become their own judges, and we're terrible judges of ourselves. Time and time again, we're shown that if given a buffet, we'll eat everything. Over and over again, we've seen people who've been given unchecked power turn into tyrants. It's the repeat of the same old story. And I know this is what like a Christian door knocker would say before like trying to sell you on some megachurch, but I don't believe in one-size-fits-all solutions. I don't believe that anything in this world should be held to an untouchable pedestal where you can't have any skepticism to it. Like, oh wow, so you made a rule that says it's all three but not all three at the same time. Isn't that like a weirdly specific rule just to counter the people who says why not just believe in God instead of Jesus? But Christianity has been done to death. I mean, we've already had 3 empires do the whole Christianity thing, some better than others. We need an alternative, not one where they just jerk you off and tell you how good of a life you're living and to be grateful for your shitty fucking life. Because that's the thing with mainstream religions. When you cater to everyone, you actually cater to no one. Using some aspects of the Nietzschean principle of the Übermensch and some esotericism and a little bit of my own twist, I'm going to show you how you can find your own truth, how you can find your own God. Wait, but you're not allowed to do that? That's heresy. That's devil worship. Okay, is that devil worship, or are the pedophiles, child sacrificing, gangbang orgies of the elites devil worship? If there's one thing that's certain, it's to stop following the herd. Everyone's a degenerate goyim nowadays. We've devolved into mindless apes who care nothing but sex, money, and status. Most of the time, for chuds like me, that means isolation. Nothing like being alone makes you feel the full gravity of your decisions and how important your decisions are. This is the concept of solve and coagulate. You need to strip away everything that's not the pure, authentic, and raw substance of yourself. That means all the vanity, all the trash, all the gunk, to reach a pure foundation to build upon. This is the concept of the categorical imperative, to be as what you'd wish society to be, but starting from yourself, that you have to be the example. You have to be the exception, to stand by your own ideals, because if not you, then who will? They've essentially lost their souls in this world, where they've turned their back on even themselves, where they're not held accountable by even themselves. Where you're not doing it out of morality of what you'd wish society would be, your idealism, but out of to use things so you can get the best leg up on people. This is what separates the bots and the players, the NPCs and the playable characters. It's idealism. Do you be even though you have all the reason not to be? Or do you fit the mold and fold like a pussy? And that's the thing about cultural norms. It's for the generic person. It's for the outline of a person they think you are. The millions and millions of sheep roaming the world. So tell me, are you a bot or a fucking player? So what holds you accountable? The most important thing is to seek the truth no matter what. The ugly truth, the truth that you don't want to see. And the thought that, yeah, if everyone in society was doing the exact same thing I was doing, I wouldn't mind it because it would create a better society. Those are the things that hold you accountable. Not the autistic subreddit telling you what's right and what's wrong. My friend owed me $5, so I shot him in the neck 5 times. Am I the asshole? Now disclaimer, this system isn't perfect. The average Mexican white supremacist Nick Fuentes fan would probably think that white supremacy is their truth. That's how you create a happier society. If everyone was white, that would fix all our problems. But the thing about the pursuit of one's truth is that you will be quickly tested on your beliefs. You would realize that everyone is capable of great things, no matter race, gender, religion, or creed. And you'd actively have to ignore the truth and cope and lie to yourself to not see that. I'd much rather respect a white supremacist who wholeheartedly believes in their cause, who's being used because the white supremacy is just a funnel for the raw substance behind it, which is trying to create a happier society. Not a lot of white supremacists are like that, but if your goal is truly to find the truth no matter what, you'd adjust your aim when proven wrong. While for some people, it's to manipulate the truth for their emotions, where they stubbornly cling onto their ideas like a lifeline and cope about it and lie to themselves even when proven wrong. That's lying to yourself. That's lying to your subconscious. That's lying to the voice of God. Because what God really is, it's the most brutally honest voice inside your head. The voice that tells you all the stuff you don't want to hear. The voice in your head that tells you what if you're wrong. But your ego blinds you. Your ego negates the voice. If you can't sit alone with yourself with that voice, sober, you're actively running away from it. This is why people do meditation. And this is why ego fundamentally blinds you. You look at all these people who go to clubs, they're playing all these status games, they're being all performative. Do you think these people have any inhibitions? Do you think these people listen to that voice? The purpose of loud music in clubs is to drown out that voice. These people can't stand to hear that voice. You look at the whole purpose of clubs, the loud music, the constant distractions, the alcohol. It's to distract you from that voice. And this is why the journey of solve and coagulate is a fundamental journey about destroying the ego. This is where Nietzsche and I differentiate. While Nietzsche would say to use your ego to impose your will on society, I would say it's about surrendering your ego. Whether you have all the confidence in the world and you think you can do it, or whether you have no confidence and you think you can't do anything, it doesn't matter. Because it's your duty, it's your obligation to pursue your truth that matters. It's the thought that if not you, then who will? The truth that God has only let you see. If you don't realize that truth, then no one will. It will die and it will wither. So put one foot in front of the other, because your own personal opinion doesn't matter, because you're not doing it for yourself. The thing about the Ubermensch is that no one has actually become the Ubermensch. Not even Nietzsche himself has become the Ubermensch. And I would say it's a trap, because time and time again, we've seen what the ego does when you're staring into the void. I'll give you an example. There's 2 runners and we're both running a race. There's an unmovable roadblock in front of us, a giant wall. By using your ego, the responsibility is solely placed on your shoulders if you can get past that wall. It's a sort of autism where you're trying to maximize your efficiency in all aspects. While, in my view, whether you do or do not get over the wall was destined, it was fate. It was to redirect you to the correct path. It's all fine and dandy to use your ego, but when you inevitably fail, the responsibility is solely placed on your shoulders. And because you have no one to blame but yourself, it will drive you insane, because the true test is not one roadblock. It's roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. If you hit those roadblocks, it's gonna hurt no matter what. You can tell yourself to laugh it off. You can tell yourself you'll be fine, but it's still gonna hurt no matter how you spin it. While in my view, sure, it still might hurt, but your personal feelings are out of the question because you're not doing it for yourself. And that's what the test of the void is. It's like one of those finger trap toys where the more you struggle against it, the tighter it becomes. Nietzsche, by trying to swallow the void, drove himself crazy. While for me, it's not about staring into the void, but looking back at what's driving you. Your truth, your family, whatever, anything but yourself. And by removing your emotions, by removing your ego and letting the driving force being your obligation and duty, the void has nothing to grab onto. Think of the void as a constant battle in the journey of solve and coagulate. It's always gonna be there telling you you're a fat fucking chud and to give up. But the isolation in solve and coagulate is meant to detach you from the material so that you can no longer be tempted by that voice. This is not an easy phase, and some people call it the blackening because you're burned to ashes and separated from your body. It's a painful process, but once you finish it, you move on to albedo, which is the purification. How do you know you're in this phase? When you don't care about pussy and hoes. It's a deeply peaceful feeling, but as humans, we yearn to be reconnected into the world. So we move on from the purification phase to rubedo, which is the reddening, which is the final stage, and it's the reintegration into the world so that your raw, authentic substance will be forged permanently. This is the Chud's journey, not to become Chad, but to become a champ, a champion of the people. But it's not about the people, it's an inwards journey. It's about the realization of one's truth. Because as I said, don't turn your back on your own soul. The truth that only God has given you. Because if you don't champion it, who will? Let it die and wither? What if MLK let his dream die and wither? What if Oppenheimer let his truth die and wither? The world would be a completely different place.